Welcome to Raiders of the Lost Podcast, the ultimate film and TV podcast.
We're your hosts, James
and Anthony.
This is movie news number 58. Let's talk about all the recent news in film and TV.
Hello, movie friends. Welcome back to the show. It was a big week of news for both film and TV. A post-Comic-Con week. Still a lot of things going on. Lots of trailers were released. So let's get into the news. And I think the best thing to start off with is got to be the Oppenheimer teaser trailer,
which was playing before Nope screened at theaters. Not as a trailer before all the ads and everything, but like a little sizzle reel before the actual film Nope in its presentation. And this trailer was recently released on YouTube and around the world. And it is incredible. It's not shown much. What we do find out is that it looks like this film is black and white, if not the majority of it, or some of it is in black and white because it's spliced together with vibrant fire in what looks like the sun. Fire. So that's in color, contrasted with the black and white, telling the story of Oppenheimer. We didn't hear Cillian Murphy speak, but we heard multiple characters voiced over with images of Cillian.
I mean, it's a sensational teaser and got people excited. Just for a period piece like this to be people this excited for, it's only Christopher Nolan can do that to audiences with his amazing fan base. I was just really struck by it. It met my expectations, and it got me very excited for this movie.
I couldn't breathe when we were watching it during Nope.
I was like, oh my God, it's happening. Our next bit of news is Will Smith has finally made a public apology for his incident at the Oscars.
It's actually his second apology.
Yeah, this is like a big one because I don't think he thought the first one was good enough. Mm-hmm. I think the first one he just had his PR team release or he put it on Instagram. But
he did like an Instagram.
Yeah, this is a 6-minute long video talking in depth about the incident and the aftermath and how sorry and regretful he is. If you want to check it out, it's online everywhere. I think it was a good move for him to make. It seemed like he meant it and it was endearing. And clearly, this guy he made a mistake and he's gonna have to live with it for the rest of his life. I thought it was good for him to come out like that.
Whew. I mean, they're gonna be playing that clip forever.
Yeah,
at the Oscars, that is gonna be played.
It's gonna be infamous
for hundreds of years to come.
Yeah,
at the Academy Awards.
Yeah.
Moving on to first House of the Dragon reactions call it vibrant, epic, and worthy successor to Game of Thrones, which I am happy to hear. We expect this. Obviously, you're going to hear about the good reviews and the good reactions. Like all these big projects, usually they're not going to post someone that said it's crap.
No, it's on Twitter.
Yeah,
it's Twitter. People are posting what they want.
But they're sharing. The headline is the vibrant and epic. And I believe it. I'm very excited to watch this show. And I personally, after watching all the teasers and trailers between this and The Rings of Power, which I know we always talk about them together because they are going head-to-head against each other, these studios know what's happening. It's going to be a battle of the end of the summer, fall between their shows.
A bloodbath.
And I'm calling the House of the Dragon being a better show, although I'm sure they're both going to be excellent. Very excited, highly anticipated to see both of them. I cannot wait. I believe the House of Dragon is the one that airs starting August 21st, which will be on Sundays.
Oh, so they won the race.
And then I think Rings of Power is September 2nd, and that will be weekly as well. I believe that's Mondays. Correct me if I'm wrong. So they'll be going head-to-head after the end of August.
It's the battle of the year.
And I'm excited. I can't wait. I love the campaigns, the trailers. We're going to get so many dragons. George R.R. Martin is heavily involved, which is very good news because, unfortunately, Tolkien's not around, and he wasn't around for the movies or anything, but still, there isn't really any Tolkien experts really on set fully, and with the writing process, they're kind of just going by their own steam, whereas George R.R. Martin is heavily involved with the story, the characters, the production of the House of the Dragon, so I think it's going to be just more true to the canon of the literature and the stories.
I like how it's like season 7 of Game of Thrones. We got dragons, it's epic already, and they're starting out like that.
Amazing!
Because the show started out very small in scope and then built upon it as it gained in popularity, and so to see House of the Dragon already start with a bang, I think I'm very excited for this. It's my most anticipated show of the entire year, and it looks really phenomenal.
I think all the people that are still upset about the end of the last season of Game of Thrones are going to be pleasantly surprised and satisfied with this new show, even though they're like, I'm not watching it. We all know you're going to watch it. We're going to watch it.
You won't be able to resist.
I think you're really going to like it.
Especially once people start talking about it.
It's going to be incredible. Moving on to the last Blockbuster closed.
Tragic.
And they did a pity tweet to Netflix saying thanks at Netflix, which is pretty
Ironic.
funny and ironic because, hey, I used to love Blockbuster. We used to go there every weekend. You all did it too. You got the popcorn that was in the bucket with the flat on the top, and you got some candy.
You peeled it off.
You got VHSs, you got DVDs. You had a blast. It was always so fun. You got to pick out a movie. It was the blast. It was the best part of the weekend, rainy weekend. That's what you're doing. You're going to Blockbuster. Nostalgic as hell. It was there forever as our whole childhood. However, they went on business because they did not adapt properly to the change in the digital climate in entertainment world. And they even turned down a proposal from Netflix to buy Netflix for $50 million back in 2000. The Netflix CEOs have confirmed this, whether or not Blockbuster wants to confirm it or not. They turned down an offer to purchase Netflix, didn't take it very seriously. Now Netflix in 2022 is worth $100 billion. And Blockbuster's final store just went out of business and closed. And it's unfortunate, but the times change. 8-track players aren't in cars anymore. USB is going to be USB-C eventually all over universally. So times change. Blockbuster, they had a great run, but it's a little petty who's running that social media account because you could
Maybe they're not aware of it. Yeah.
Yeah, you could have prevented
also, maybe if Blockbuster did buy Netflix, Netflix wouldn't have exploded the way it did in terms they might not have pushed it as much as Netflix owners did.
Maybe there's a alternate universe where they bought Netflix and Blockbuster was now, and then Netflix would be called Blockbuster. I could see that happening. Why not? Just change the logo. Same thing.
It would be cool to see a Blockbuster logo in front of things.
So it's end
a
of an era.
Blockbuster production.
It's a dinosaur. That store is a relic. It's a dinosaur from the past. It is what it is. You should have adapted. We missed them. It was so fun. But also, in their last couple of years, they were charging like
late fees, man.
$5 for like a day to rent a movie.
The new release rental prices were like $5.50.
It used to be like $7. You pay $7 like a month. You can rent like 3 movies a week.
Yeah.
And then they started changing it. Like you only have 2-day rental, 1-day rental. It was ridiculous. So
you get it for 30 minutes, but the movie's 2 hours. I don't want to hear it.
And you have to watch it all back.
Anyways, moving on to some more news. So a lot of trailers were released this week. I think the best looking one was the new Marilyn Monroe biopic Blonde, Andrew Dominik's new film with Ana de Armas playing Marilyn Monroe, and it looks terrific. He used a lot of great different aspect ratios on different film formats. I think the cinematography looks amazing. Anna seems like a great casting for Marilyn Monroe. She still has a bit of an accent, but I don't think that's important. She feels like she captured the essence of the character, and she certainly looks like it in the wardrobe and in the hair, in the red lipstick. I was like, oh, wow.
The smile, too.
Yeah. Once she has the red lipstick on, I'm like, oh, wow. Really? She really looks like Marilyn Monroe. So I think it looks sensational. It's going to be coming out on Netflix very soon. I believe it's an NC-17 rating as well, so it's going to be a graphic film, but I am very much looking forward to it.
Yeah, you are.
Oh, yeah.
The boys are going to show up for Blonde. We have our first full-length trailer for Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio, and the cast is phenomenal. The stop-motion animation is sensational. It's right out of the mind of Guillermo del Toro. So excited about this movie. We have 2 Pinocchio movies going head-to-head this year, and Guillermo's is number 1 on our list. Screw Tom.
Yeah.
Tom Hanks is Geppetto. Come on, the guy's not even Italian.
I believe there's a third one as well. From a different country, and then there was one that came out earlier this year, so 4 in total this year.
That one seemed like a meme joke. They like made
Pauly
like
Shore voiced Pinocchio.
They like made like a meme movie.
Yeah. I can't believe they actually made it. Did you see any footage from it?
I've seen a few. Yeah,
It's ridiculous.
It looks like those CGI movies from like 2002.
Yeah, or like a Disney CGI movie, like
straight
Barbie,
to DVD.
Fairytopia. But this looks fantastic. The visuals are stunning. It's a completely new look for the famous story that only Guillermo can do. I love the guy. I think he's one of our best directors, and I am so much looking forward to seeing this magical talking wooden boy.
I'm a real boy.
Next up, another trailer. Ty West, I guess, secretly made a movie with Mia Goth. I'd never read anything about it, but it's an origin story for X about Pearl. If you haven't seen X, she is one of the main characters in X, and it's about her origin story when she goes on a killing spree as a younger woman.
Pearl. Origins.
But I thought it was really cool to cast Mia Goth as this role, even though she played the lead in X. And I'm sure A24 was like, oh, you want to make another movie for a couple $1,000,000 in the same location with the same actor, go for it, bro. I mean, you're making it easy for us to make this money.
And X was successful.
Yeah, X was very successful for its budget. So I think it was really, really interesting choice to go with Mia Goth. They must have had a great working relationship, and she looks really terrific as the title character. She's a great actress.
And it fits the plot of the old woman. I won't spoil what the old woman is, who she is in the film in X, but it fits the plot from X to have Mia Goth play the younger version of the old woman if you watch the movie.
And correct me if I'm wrong. I mean, spoilers for that movie. In the old photos of Pearl, is it Mia Goth in the photos?
Yeah, I can't remember because I saw it once. I can't remember if it was Mia Goth, but she looked very similar to Mia Goth in her youth.
I think so too.
So I think that's why they cast her, is it because she was so obsessed with Mia Goth's character because she looked just like her as a child.
I thought you weren't going to spoil it.
You said spoilers.
I'm just kidding. Go into it. Go into
All right,
detail.
so if you had fast forwarded from spoilers, we were back. Now moving on to... We have actually two pieces of Martin Scorsese and Leonardo DiCaprio news. First of all, Killers of the Flower Moon got moved to 2023, which is very unfortunate. Bad news there. I don't know what's going on with the production or what, but that's, I was really looking forward to that.
No, they took the option to premiere at Cannes.
Oh, that's why they moved it?
Yeah, so they're premiering it at Cannes instead of just releasing it. So it's
right,
actually a pretty cool thing to do.
All right, so I bet you they think it could win Palme d'Or then.
Yeah, it seems likely. And if it's not, it will be playing out of competition. I'm not sure, but that's why they made the move.
Still bad news for us because we have to wait even longer to see it.
It sucks.
However, Marty and Lee are going to team up for their 7th film after that for the movie called The Wager, which could be an Apple original film. I believe that's who owns the rights.
Yeah, it's about basically a shipwreck storyline, and DiCaprio would play the lead of the film. The book was just released, and so obviously the producers had the manuscript and sold it to DiCaprio and Scorsese. Apple looks like they're gonna win the bidding war for this, and it will. If we know Scorsese, it'll be both theatrical release and streaming release, probably in theaters for maybe 2 weeks before it comes out on Apple. So. Anything they do together is just going to be gold, so I can't wait. They have the Midas touch.
Apple wants to keep winning Best Picture Oscars. They won the quota, so I get it. I mean, with all these streaming wars, at least, they've taken home the big prize a couple of times with what they want.
But, I mean, just them making more movies together is good news for movie fans. Next up, kind of sad news is that Alicia Vikander is already out of the Tomb Raider franchise. MGM they lost the film rights to the Tomb Raider brand, and it was purchased by
it's a bidding war.
War, but they just lost the rights. So they had the option to rebuy the rights, which is an option all owners of a brand have. The property have. They have a right to buy it back, but they just chose not to. Probably can't afford it. Amazon might not be interested in the property since they now own MGM. So Tomb Raider's going somewhere else. Alicia Vikander, I thought she was a great Lara Croft. The movie was just kind of like mid. It was the script more than anything. I think she was a great choice. So it's kind of a shame to see her already out of the character. I would have liked to see her continue the role.
Yeah, yesterday we dropped a little mini reaction to the news of MGM losing the rights to Tomb Raider and why it's been so difficult for studios to actually make a good Tomb Raider movie because it's such an iconic video game character and it should be as recognized as James Bond and characters like that because
it has the potential.
Lara Croft is the ultimate female action protagonist, and it's a damn shame she hasn't gotten a great movie yet. I love the original with Angelina Jolie, but still it's kind of campy and cheesy
it's
at
not
times.
The caliber,
But Lara Croft deserves a movie, and you just go listen to that from yesterday to learn more about our thoughts and reaction to that. Moving on to Jason Momoa revealed on Instagram that Batfleck is back, baby.
How excited
But not
are
in
you?
the Flash. He's an Aquaman, too. He posted a selfie with Ben, and Ben is in full Bruce Wayne makeup, suit, and hair and everything. So this is really exciting. I like how they're letting stuff like this get teased rather than
you gotta
keeping
get people
it balled
excited.
Up. They have to because everything with the Flash, they got to get it going.
And also their hall at Comic-Con wasn't really that well received.
Hall H?
Yeah, Hall H. Their Hall H presentation.
Yeah, I mean,
wasn't
they didn't really do
thrilling.
anything.
It was just Shazam and Black Adam.
And everyone's like,
and no Cavill, boo. So I think that they're like, Momoa, can you set a photo of Batfleck on your Instagram, please?
It's funny because that got more internet reaction than the stuff at Comic-Con.
Yeah. I think, people are really excited. People really liked Ben Affleck as Batman and Bruce Wayne. You loved
This
him.
guy did right here.
We're actually planning an episode in the future of the best Batmen and our opinions on who they are in terms of the actors portraying both Batman and Bruce Wayne. So that's going to be a great one.
Ooh, that'll be coming soon.
It's going to be epic, but that's in the works. But I think Ben was always a great choice for Batman, and I would have liked to see a solo film, but it is what it is. Next up, James Gunn announced that he wants to do an R-rated Scooby-Doo movie, and I am all for it.
Absolutely.
It would be great rated R. They tried. It's been a franchise. It's the movies. I think they made 3 of them, and they were fun, but they were never very good. But I think James Gunn could do something really excellent with that brand. It would be a lot of fun to see it rated R because you can have that campy comedy with great gore, horror elements, but then also the raunchy humor that he likes to throw in his movies. So I think it could be a great blend and mashup of genres to have James Gunn do it.
And it's owned by Warner Brothers. I don't know how long they've owned it for, if it's been forever, probably. But,
Yeah.
they're always trying to turn Scooby-Doo into a kid's property in kids' movies, which, it was a kid's cartoon, but still it was scary when we were kids. But the new movies weren't very scary. They're still fun, and I love Scooby and everything. But, I think they realize, and they should realize, that the majority of the fans of Scooby-Doo in the show are older
Aged
people.
up.
We're the youngest versions, really. We were watching Scooby-Doo when we were kids, but Scooby-Doo isn't really very popular with the youth today. I would say kids like it here and there.
But even if they came out with a new movie, it wouldn't get kids excited, I don't think.
People have tattoos of Scooby-Doo.
Yeah.
If they made a rated R adult version of Scooby-Doo, people would go in flocks. I'm telling you, they should definitely do it. Moving on to Jon Favreau, who tried to stop the Russo brothers from killing Tony Stark in Avengers Endgame.
So Jon Favreau was on the phone with the Russos when they came up with the idea of killing Tony Stark in Endgame, and he was like, "You can't do it. People aren't going to be able to handle it. They love him too much. You're making a mistake." And he was really obviously expressing his concerns and felt strongly about it. They stuck to their guns and decided to do it, which worked really well.
Yeah, I think it was the right decision to make.
Yeah, I think he was just maybe a little paranoid because it's the baby he made, and it's it was his baby, Iron Man. So
Iron Man. Tony and John started the MCU, so I understand his concern and hesitation for them to do that. But I think it was kind of really important. Moving on to a Creed spinoff.
Not Creed from The Office.
It's gonna Creed. I wish Creed, the Apollo Creed spinoff. It's gonna focus on Drago. It's in the works at MGM, and this is actually
Drago Origins.
I saw this today, and I made a tweet where I said, "Here's a petition to stop making movie villains into heroes. Please retweet below because I'm sick of turning villains and antagonists into heroes. I don't want a Drago. I'm a hero story. We're getting a Moriarty universe where Moriarty is like a hero. I don't get why do they keep doing this?
I don't know, man.
I love to see them in projects, of course, and I love Moriarty, but to keep turning villains into heroes. Sony's been making a huge mistake, I think, with turning Morbius into a hero, I guess
Craven's going to be a hero.
Craven's going to be a hero. I don't know what the problem is with these studios, but you're going to have a villain problem if all you do is turn your villains into heroes.
Yeah, I think, you don't always have to empathize with the villain. What's next? Is Hannibal going to be the victim of another villain in the upcoming origin story on Apple TV? I made that up, but it sounds true, right?
They're probably going to do it. Someone listening is like, "Oh, that's a great idea. Let's get this in the works."
So I'm not a fan of it, and we don't need a Drago property.
Was he that interesting?
No, not really. He was a great villain, but he said 5 things.
But that's why he's so great in Rocky IV. He is just a machine set to destroy, set to kill. Yes, he's been corrupted by the Russians, the Soviets, and the experimentations with the physical enhancements and drugs and stuff like that, and all they want him to do is win the fight. But we understand he's a human being, but I still love that he's a machine. He's basically the Terminator in boxing form. That's what makes it so great. Even though he has some sort of character transformation. By the
he
end of
gives
the fight.
Rocky kudos for after the fight.
Still, I'm not for it. Not for it.
Me either, man. Some really cool news is that Coda's actor Tony Kossler, who won the Best Supporting Actor Oscar last year for his role, he is leading a new Disney Plus show about a team of deaf high school football players. I think this is an excellent project. It sounds really terrific. He's a really talented guy. He in a lot of ways was the glue of that movie, and a lot of the heart and humor came out of him.
So funny.
Really terrific performer. So I think this is an excellent idea by Disney Plus to go ahead with this project. I'm looking forward to seeing it. I think it's a great project idea.
Sebastian Stan has a new project coming out called A Different Man, and he looks like a different man with intense prosthetics.
Oh, nice.
In the first image from the film. Very excited to see it. I think Sebastian's been picking some really interesting projects.
Yeah.
Obviously with Fresh, which I thought was a really great original horror film, is really solid for him to, be in a crazy serial killer. So now him doing a heavy prosthetic work is pretty awesome because he's such a good looking guy.
Yeah, it's reminiscent of John Hurt's character in The Elephant Man, it looks like. And also it reminds me of that actor in Under the Skin as well. So really cool for him to do something, cover his face up, because he's like such a Hollywood honk. Everyone, all the ladies love him. So like to just cover your face, I think is a good move by him. Also, in co-starring in that film, I'm sorry, who was it? Yeah, she's from The Worst Person in the World. Really awesome actress. She won the Best Actress at Cannes last year. So excited to see her in her first American film. Next up, the first official image of Brendan Fraser in Darren Aronofsky's upcoming film, The Whale, was released, and he looks really excellent. He plays a 600-pound man who is trying to reconnect with his 17-year-old daughter. Sounds pretty reminiscent of The Wrestler. Aronofsky, I think, saw the potential in Brendan Fraser. He's a great actor. We all know about his story. It's great to see him coming back and not just working on any movie. He's starring in an Aronofsky movie, which is a really big deal.
And Scorsese movie.
Yeah, and a Scorsese movie in Killers of the Flower Moon. So the resurgence of Brendan is going to be big time.
The King is back.
Let's go.
Avengers, the Kang Dynasty has tapped Shang-Chi director Destin Daniel Cretton to direct the film. So Marvel's keeping their talent close with choosing... it's similar how they
worked
did
with the Russos.
So
yeah.
Russo's kind of set the tone for the MCU going forward. It seems like Shang-Chi kind of the tone was set there.
Yeah,
with that
Coogler
film.
too.
And so they picked Destin to direct the Kang Dynasty. I don't know if he's going to direct both the Avengers films. Are they both coming out in the same year? Am I crazy?
Once they're coming out, I believe, like 8 months apart in the same year.
That's nuts.
Yeah.
That's like the Dragon Tattoo, and all three came out in the same year in Sweden.
Yeah. Well, Endgame and Infinity War, they were only about a year apart,
If you
right?
think about it, less than a year probably.
Yeah.
From when they came apart.
And same with Deathly Hallows 1 and 2.
So, I mean, that'll be Avengers 5 and 6, and we have no idea what they're going to be about, but we'll get there eventually.
Yeah, we will find our way. Next up, Luca Guadagnino's new film Bones and All released the first official images featuring Timothée Chalamet about a cannibal and his lady friend who start eating people. I think that's the plot summary about, but it looks very interesting. I love Luca. We talk about him a lot on this show. He's an amazing director, and he obviously loves working with Timothy, as probably any director would. So I'm very excited to see their next collaboration. It sounds like a really interesting next project for them.
I think the story is actually, it follows the girl is the main character, and she grew up in a family of cannibals or something
really?
like that.
Yeah.
I remember reading a synopsis of the book. I think that's what it was.
Interesting.
Pretty wild. The Gray Man universe is expanding with a sequel and spin-offs, and we talked about this in our Gray Man episode. It was a pretty mediocre action movie.
It was all right.
I don't know. I guess they're going to make sequels.
We needed a universe.
I guess. Sure, the Gray Man universe. Moving on. Because we just watched Predator. It's just like night and day.
Todd Field, a terrific director, he is coming out with a new film called Tar, starring the great Cate Blanchett, about a female composer heading an orchestra in Germany. And it's just a teaser trailer, but it looks awesome, looks really sensational. It is high on my radar, as Blanchett is one of my favorite actors of all time. I can't wait to see it.
Baby Rocket Raccoon will appear in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. So wait, did Rocket have a baby?
No, so Guardians 3 is going to be it's going to be, the heart of the story will be Rocket, so we're going to learn about his history.
Rocket origins
literally. So it's going to be like kind of how like number 2 was Peter and his father. This is going to be Rocket, and is going to be like the main overall thread, and then the story's going to happen within that.
I love it. Rocket Raccoon. It's going to be talking smack the whole time.
Yeah, I think the more Rocket, the better. Bradley's great, and James Gunn. I mean, Jeff Gunn is great. Sean Gunn is great as Rocket.
In the suit.
Yeah, in the suit. Because it's important for him to be there.
Yeah.
And so I'm very much looking forward to it. They released the first trailer at Comic-Con, and the footage is supposed to be the best so far. Chris Pratt said it's like really one of the best things he's ever done. So I'm looking forward to seeing this. I can't wait. I love the Guardians. It was great to see them in Thor: Love and Thunder for like 5 minutes. It's just like a lot of fun to see that motley crew, and everyone seems to really have fallen into their characters in a great way, and so it'll be fun to see them all back in action.
And it was really cool to see Sean Gunn in The Terminal List. He's got a
Oh
role
yeah,
in that.
he's good in it.
Yeah, he's great.
very good.
You don't see him in many stuff outside of the MCU.
Yeah, he was in Gilmore Girls.
Yeah,
That was his first major role before his brother started making Marvel movies, and
Yeah.
he's always had side character roles in his brother's movies.
So it's really cool to see him in a project that isn't with his brother, and that Chris Pratt was making.
And he did a very good job in his scenes.
Solid.
I was very impressed with him.
Same, because the whole time I was watching, I'm like, it's Sean Gunn. But yeah, he pulled it off really well.
The first reactions to I Am Groot, the TV series, call it a cute, clever series that the whole family will love. This series starts streaming in August on Disney Plus, and it's going to be a series of short films, not like a TV series. So I believe they'll all be between like 15 to 20 minutes, but seems like a great fun time for kids and families.
Those About to Die. Roland Emmerich is set to direct a Gladiator series for Peacock, which means it's probably the smallest in scale movie he's ever made because he's always blowing up the planet or about to.
Well, this is a series.
Yeah, so
he's never done a series, I don't think.
It's based on the nonfiction book of the same name by Daniel Mannix. So, I mean, hopefully be cool. You know, we love Gladiators, although, I mean, they've not pulled it off outside of Gladiator.
Just Spartacus and Gladiator. That's it.
Aside
Just
from
two
that,
movies.
It's not been a good run
genre
of Gladiator movies, but we still love Gladiators, the concept of them and the history of them in ancient Rome.
The thing is,
cultures.
Roland doesn't have a great track record, and I'm not sure about this.
His stuff makes money, except for Moonfall.
I don't know, not the last couple. Independence Day Resurgence made no money.
Did it not?
No, those last two movies, big bombs. I don't think he has the credibility to make a great TV series. We'll see.
Hey man, I'm pulling for him.
Pull ahead, man. I'm not gonna watch this.
What if it's amazing?
I will give you $1,000 if it's amazing.
All right, cool.
All right, sounds great. Speaking of TV series, one of our favorite horror films, Let the Right One In, is now turning into a TV series on Showtime. It comes out on October 7th. One of the greatest vampire movies ever made, if not the greatest of all time. And it was already made into American film. Matt Reeves made it. It was very good for a remake.
Let me in.
And now the series is, I mean, everything has to be a TV series now.
And slowly I'm melting into my chair as one of my favorite vampire movies.
Speaking of TV series, Disney Plus is just on fire with TV. So they're both adapting both the series Eragon and Percy Jackson and the Olympians as Disney Plus TV series. Both will be coming out in 2024. And so it seems like Disney's turning their major properties into television shows rather than films. It seems like they're, not abandoning films, but it seems like they are just hitting TV really hard.
Yeah.
Everything's a show now.
Everything's got to be a show. Now, there's too many goddamn shows.
Too many shows.
Who has time to watch all this? I love movies because it's 2 hours and you're done.
Yeah.
And then you got to wait another 2-3 years for the sequel if they have one.
Yeah. Also, the problem with TV shows is that they're not like as rewatchable as a movie because you got to watch a lot of episodes and it's just like hours and hours and hours of watching as opposed to a movie being 2 hours, even an hour and a half sometimes. So the rewatch value of TV series is not there.
I don't think they care about rewatch value. I think
yeah.
they just care about content, and they just want people as many hours
Thumbnails.
on their
Thumbnails.
streaming service as possible. That's all they care about.
But it's really interesting that two big franchises like that to be turned into series rather than films because Eragon, they only got one film, and it wasn't really well received. It did mediocre at the box office, but there's a lot of potential with that franchise to make it a big film franchise because the books are so loved. And then Percy Jackson already proved itself to be a potential huge moneymaker at the box office. So it's interesting to see them going the TV route for both.
Final bit of news. Mayans MC renewed for season 5.
Congrats.
At FX, and it will premiere in 2023. That's very cool that a spinoff from a TV show, The Sons of Anarchy, has lasted 5 seasons. Shows you that it's still popular and people still want that kind of stuff. It's very cool. So that's awesome.
Congrats to all y'all. And thank you for tuning into this episode of Movie News, everyone.
And then don't forget to check out our reaction to the Tomb Raider news yesterday. It was a quick, short episode, so it should be quick and easy listen. Also, it'll be a video podcast on Spotify. And Monday, we have a great episode dropping for you. It'll be our episode on Nope. So fun. And then Thursday will be Predator. So stay tuned for
Great
those.
Great week.
Raiders of the Lost podcast is a mirror image production. Sound mixing done by Jacob Kossler. Opening music by Chase Jackson.